It's time for the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
Well, after a convincing win at home last Friday, the Bulldogs are on the road tonight, preparing to take on the Millionaires of Williamsport here at STA Stadium. Berwick 2-5 after a 41-0 rout of Nanticoke. CJ, going into that game last Friday, you figured your team could run the ball, and they did. 294 yards, led by Ty Wilkerson's 2 long touchdown runs. But I thought that the story of the night for you offensively was the passing of Billy Hansen. 3 touchdown passes in the second quarter. He's just new to this position. First 3 of his career look pretty good.
For sure. It really is just a testament to how hard that Billy works, too. I mean, when we moved Billy to that position, he was totally bought in. He didn't have a ton of experience, and we plan to use him more and just kind of that wildcat role that we see Tymir doing right now. But we knew if we wanted to have success, we had to be able to throw the football a little bit. So it started out as giving Billy some easy reads, some easy completions, and now, he's reading down the field. He's throwing waggles. He's dropping the ball in the breadbasket on the money like you saw in that corner to Neville. Coming right back, taking his shots to Julian. So he's been very impressive, and it just shows how much he cares about it. He works so hard in practice. And with having Coach Dave Robbins here, it's also very helpful to have him in his ear.
Was it a surprise to you what you saw Friday night, or did you see that coming in practice?
We certainly expected it, and that's been the goal for us, is to have that expectation that we're going to go out and that we're going to dominate. And so I thought that last week was our best week of practice of the season. I think the guys were locked in, they were focused, they were determined, they were physical. They were holding each other accountable for things they were doing during practice. And so I think that we did expect to do that last week, but we also had to come out and execute, and we did that, which was great to see.
Nice to see him spread the wealth, too. Skylar Neville, Julian Howie, Ty Wilkerson, 3 touchdowns, 3 different people.
Absolutely, yeah. And Billy's getting great with making his reads and being able to get the ball out and on time, and he's just going to continue to get better with that. And so, the big thing that we said after the game is that we had some success, but we cannot get complacent. And our guys weren't satisfied. As we broke it down in our post-game huddle, guys were frustrated with the fact that still, we had 0 points from our varsity in the third quarter, and in the fourth quarter, our JV scored the last touchdown of the night. And so kind of been one of those things that we've struggled in the third and fourth quarter. And so, our guys knew that they weren't satisfied. So we know that we have to stack good days. And we've done that this week again. So I think we'll be ready for tonight.
And looking ahead, you could have won that game against Nanticoke without throwing a single pass. But it's unrealistic to think the same thing can happen against Williamsport and Selinsgrove.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why that we had to work on those things during the game. And Williamsport, certainly tough kids. They run a similar defensive scheme to what we saw against Wyoming area, which gave us a little bit of trouble. They run that 5-2, but, seeing what they did to Shamokin when Shamokin was a heavy run team and Jersey Shore, they came down in a 5-3. They came down in a 6-2. They matched up man. They dare you to throw the ball. But I think that there's some things that are there. There's some things that Billy's done very well that he continues to improve on. And I think that, if we can just be in that 10 to 12 times per game passing and be able to effectively run. But the big thing is to not get behind the chains. And once again, we have 11 penalties in the game. We have 2 turnovers, and we have some negative plays on first down that really limit our play calling ability, especially with the type of offense that we're running right now. So that's been the big thing that we've tried to get cleaned up this week.
You got running back Gavin Galusha back after missing a couple of games with a concussion. 12 carries, 85 yards. Didn't see any rust in him.
Yeah, no doubt. And Gavin worked so hard. Gavin was so excited to be back. You could see the fire in his eyes. I could see it when he came to the game, on Friday night at 3:30. And so Gavin's just such an awesome player to have. He's such a pleasure to coach. He never says a word. He does his job. He doesn't care how many times he gets the ball, but when he gets the ball, he's going to run hard and run tough. And that's certainly the player that he is, and the stuff that he was able to give us Friday night showed that.
Last Friday, the Bulldogs defense pitched its first shutout of the season. Up next, CJ will talk about that performance. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick. The roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding. Specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
Family tradition is the foundation of Nespoli Jewelers, a family tradition started by Joseph Nespoli and continued by his grandson Jonathan. For 3 generations, Nespoli Jewelers have prided themselves on mixing fine with fashion. Jonathan can customize your engagement ring and wedding bands, design a unique piece of jewelry inspired by you, or simply help you find an affordable gift. Service, quality, creativity. Nespoli Jewelers. Yesterday's principles, today's creations. East Front Street in Berwick and online at nespolijewelers.com.
We're here at Ken Pollock in Berwick, and Ken is here with us. And Ken, you've been here for the last 10 years or so. Has Berwick welcomed you?
Absolutely. I think we align perfectly as a group with the Berwick community. We're community-driven. We love servicing the people down here. We have great deals every day, whatever stage in life you might be at, looking for a car for your kid, family, whatever it might be. We have a huge selection here, and whatever you have, bring it down, and we'll service it for you as well. Our people are very eager and very knowledgeable about the product that we do have, so we really want to help you out and make you a part of the Ken Pollock family.
Planning your next big event? Weddings, concerts, church festivals, even construction sites. Preferred Portables has you covered. Preferred Portables offers a luxury restroom trailer that even has hot water. No power? No problem. They can provide a generator to keep the lights on. They even provide sanitary service to campgrounds, parks, parties, and have 24-hour emergency service. Contact Preferred Portables to learn about event and contractor pricing. Check out their website, preferredportables.com. We're number 1 when you have to go number 2.
Hey, hometown fans. You know Journey Bank as your trusted local bank. But did you know we're also the biggest cheerleader for our community's youth? From athletes competing under the Friday night lights, to students excelling in the classroom, to talented teen stars singing center stage, we're investing in the future of our young people. At Journey Bank, we're committed to helping our kids score big in every aspect of life. Journey Bank, where dreams are nurtured and futures are built. Journey Bank, proud supporter of our local youth.
You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
Weekend number 8 of high school football's 10-week regular season kicks off tonight. For the Bulldogs, it's a game against the Millionaires of Williamsport here at STA Stadium. Millionaires are 4-3, coming off a loss to unbeaten Shamokin. Dogs are 2-5, coming off a 41-0 win over Nanticoke last Friday at Crispin Field. CJ, your team's defense turned in a dominating performance against Nanticoke, limiting the Trojans to just 2 first downs, 46 yards in total yards. What pleased you the most about that performance?
Total effort from all 11 guys for 4 quarters, and that was just so great to see. And before the game, Coach Haas made it a point to let our defensive guys know that it's been 755 days on Friday since Berwick had their last shutout. And so that was our goal, to get one. And so our guys did that great. I think that we played with relentless pressure. We were dominating the line of scrimmage, and it was one of those things that guys were just doing their jobs. All 11 guys did their jobs. We cut down on our missed tackles significantly. 13 yards passing, I believe they had, which is just a testament to how good our secondary, I believe, is, even with some guys down like Caleb and Billy who didn't play. So, guys stepping up, next guy up mentality, and our defense fought. They battled. They were tough for 4 quarters, but we're going to need that performance again with increased intensity this week against a very good football team.
Sometimes I have to remind myself that Gabe Decker is indeed a 9th grader. He had 9 tackles against a very good Wyoming area team 2 weeks ago. Last week, 7 tackles, 6 of them tackles for loss from his defensive end position. Your grandfather once told me that he thought that defensive end was the most important position in high school football. If he's right on that, you're going to be set for the next 3 years.
I certainly believe he is right. And that's the reason why we went with our 4-3 and our 5-2. Last year, Berwick's defense ran a 3-4, and we were depending on outside linebackers to make those plays. And so we knew that with the guys that we had coming up through the program, we really thought that, and we had a vision for Gabe on what he can do for this defense. And, with this experience that he's gotten over the first 6 games, that's for those first 5 games. Games 6 and 7, he's really coming to his own. He's getting more comfortable there. He's getting more physical. He's healthy for a freshman, and he's in the weight room. He works harder than anybody else. So seeing him being able to have performances like this is just so great, and it's so encouraging for the future as well.
Williamsport is tonight's opponent. Later in the show, CJ will tell us what to expect for the Millionaires. But up next, it's the Bulldog Spotlight feature. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio.
Be moved in a Mazda from W&L.
Jump in with the whole family for a night of memories in the third row Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, offering 1.9% financing for 72 months.
Or choose bold utility in the all-new CX-70. You will elevate your driving experience with a comfortable cabin and expansive cargo capacity. Right now, W&L Mazda is offering 2.9% for 72 months.
See us off Route 11 in Northumberland and online at WNLMazda.com.
Financing available to well-qualified applicants only. Offer cannot be combined with any other discounts or incentives other than loyalty or military offers. Offers end 10/31/24. See W&L Mazda for complete offer details.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 35 years experience. And new Bulldog wear for every age, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, polos, hats, and more. They even make online fundraising easy for you. Stop in today to discuss your next fundraising opportunity. You can also shop at masonsmonogramming.com for their new inventory and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogramming for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram Service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickashinny, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, perfection in every detail.
When you've been sidelined by an injury, all you want is to get back in the game. Getting to the finish line starts with Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine. We use the most advanced technology for faster, better results, so elite and everyday athletes can compete like champions once again. Call 833-LV-ORTHO. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Your health deserves a partner.
Stop. Don't make your next car payment. Instead, get a new vehicle at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. Because right now, we're offering a 120% of Kelley Blue Book trade value buyback bonus, up to $2,500. Just find the vehicle you want from our huge selection of new Buicks and GMCs and get 120% of KBB trade-in value for yours. It's the 120% of KBB buyback bonus event going on now at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. The lowest price guaranteed.
You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
Tonight, here at STA Stadium, the 38th meeting between Berwick and Williamsport. Berwick leads the series 27-10, including last season's 21-7 win. In our next segment, CJ will tell us about the Millionaires, but now it's time for our weekly feature, Bulldog Spotlight. Tonight, the spotlight is on junior Ty Wilkerson. CJ, as this season has progressed, Ty has emerged as one of the top playmakers in all of District 2. That's no exaggeration. What has turned around for him since he was just an afterthought early in the season?
Yeah, no doubt. And with our first offense that we had in, our vision and our goal for him was to have him at that slot receiver position, be able to get out in routes, be able to get him around 10 touches a game by throwing the ball and on jet sweeps. And there were some times that we tried to get him in the backfield, but that offense just really wasn't working for us. We weren't able to find any type of rhythm. We weren't able to find any type of identity. So we knew after scoring 0 points against Lackawanna Trail that we had to make some kind of adjustment and difference. And so that's when Ty started to get a couple more touches, and then especially against Hanover, getting him the ball as a direct snap and understanding that, we have one of the fastest guy in District 2. He has 2 gold medals in District 2 in the 4x1 and the 100-meter dash. And so, Ty, with the ball in his hands at any point, is a threat to score a touchdown. So, as a coaching staff, we kind of got back together and realized we have to do something to be able to get the ball in his hands. And lo and behold, since he's kind of taken over the reins along with Billy as getting those direct snaps and getting the ball 10 to 15 times a game, we've gone 2-1, and he's been over 100 yards rushing in 2 games, and he had 88 against a very solid Wyoming area team. But he's a game breaker at any point in the game. He plays both ways. He's been taking it very serious in his preparation. So just to see him locked in and him so excited to be able to help out our team in any way possible has been awesome.
He has all the tangibles, the speed and the power. He can run between the tackles. But, confidence is something that's hard to define. And he has it the last 3 or 4 games.
For sure.
Last year, he didn't. You saw some sparks from him once in a while. but he was dropping passes. Just didn't look like a confident, assured football player. Now he does.
No doubt. And I think that the big thing for Ty this offseason was that he didn't miss a day, where last year it was tough to get him down here. He wasn't lifting in the off season. You didn't see him one time during track. You didn't see him over the summer. But this past off season, he made it a point. He went from about 175 to 190, solid muscle. When we timed him out here in our hand time 40, he ran a 4.4 flat. He worked his tail off in the weight room. And when he was down here working with myself, working with Coach Haas, he understood the concept of the offense and the defense. And we always say, if you're confident, if you're able to understand what you're doing, and you can play a little bit more loose, you can play faster. Because if you're unsure, which is where he was at last season, with what you're doing on offense or defense, you can never play confident and you can never play fast. So, Ty's in control. He's getting guys in the right places on offense and defense, which we look at each other as coaches and sometimes we just say, wow, look how far he's come, which is so great to see. But it's such a pleasure to coach Ty. He's one of those guys who's always got a smile on his face. And recently, since he took up this quarterback and running back position in practice, he's the hardest working practice player that we had. And he really is working his tail off to get better, understand his reads. He's going 100%. He's pushing guys in practice, which has just been amazing to kind of see how far he's come this season.
Let's talk about defense. You've played him at safety. You played him at corner. What's the best position for your team? What's the best for him?
And he can really do it all. He's a great, strong safety for us. He comes downhill and he will lay the wood on people. It's awesome to see that. Super fast. He can cover anything, and he's smart back there. He really is. And when we had Caleb go down with his injury, and when Billy was banged up a little bit, we said, we need somebody to play corner. And so we said, Ty, we need you to do this for our team. And he was fine with it. He went in. He said, anything that I can do to help our team, I'll do. And so he's been great in man coverage. He's learning, and him knowing strong safety and knowing coverages has helped him tremendously playing corner as well, because he understands, well, as the strong safety I had to be here, but I knew what the corner was doing. So he's able to do the same thing. He gets off blocks, he's physical, and like I said, he's fast, he's strong, he's explosive, and so he's everything that you want to look for in a football player. And now he's playing with confidence, so it's getting scary for him.
And another year after this, that has to have you excited.
Absolutely. We're rooting for him to go win more gold medals in track and hopefully make a run at states this year in track. But I know that he's not satisfied either. I know that the recruiting process is starting to kind of heat up for him, and he's gaining some interest from some Division I AA and some Division II schools right now. So that's pretty cool to see, him excited and see the smile on his face when a coach reaches out. So I think he sees the writing on the wall that if he continues to work hard, continues to do everything he can to help his team do those little things right, he has a pretty bright future ahead of him.
In the Bulldog Spotlight, junior Ty Wilkerson. Tonight, Ty and his Bulldog teammates take on Williamsport here at STA Stadium. Up next, CJ will tell us about the Millionaires offense. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio.
Jim Doyle and the Berwick Bulldogs head coach C.J. Curry. Brought to you by
Overhead Door of Berwick, Berwick Notary, State Farm Insurance, Sean Black and Lori Powell, First Keystone Community Bank, the Willows Golf Course, Journey Bank, Flick Brothers Electric in Bloomsburg, Blaze Alexander Family Buick GMC of Bloomsburg, Berwick Dental Arts, W&L Subaru, Nissan and Mazda, Reds Roofing, Preferred Portables, Nespoli Jewelers, Neighborhood Fence, Ken Pollock Ford, Mayo Funeral Home, ND Accounting and Consultant, and Mason's Monogram Service.
You'll only find the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio and streaming online at thisispopradio.com.
Reds Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, the roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Reds Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding, specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Reds Roofing, the roofing ninjas, now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties, with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
Planning your next big event? Weddings, concerts, church festivals, even construction sites. Preferred Portables has you covered. Preferred Portables offers a luxury restroom trailer that even has hot water. No power? No problem. They can provide a generator to keep the lights on. They even provide sanitary service to campgrounds, parks, parties, and have 24-hour emergency service. Contact Preferred Portables to learn about event and contractor pricing. Check out their website, preferredportables.com. We're number one when you have to go number two.
When you've been sidelined by an injury, all you want is to get back in the game. Getting to the finish line starts with Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine. We use the most advanced technology for faster, better results, so elite and everyday athletes can compete like champions once again. Call 833-LV-ORTHO. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Your health deserves a partner.
Family tradition is the foundation of Nespoli Jewelers, a family tradition started by Joseph Nespoli and continued by his grandson Jonathan. For 3 generations, Nespoli Jewelers have prided themselves on mixing fine with fashion. Jonathan can customize your engagement ring and wedding bands, design a unique piece of jewelry inspired by you, or simply help you find an affordable gift. Service, quality, creativity. Nespoli Jewelers. Yesterday's principles, today's creations. East Front Street in Berwick and online at nespolijewelers.com.
Hey, hometown fans. You know Journey Bank as your trusted local bank. But did you know we're also the biggest cheerleader for our community's youth? From athletes competing under the Friday night lights, to students excelling in the classroom, to talented teen stars singing center stage, we're investing in the future of our young people. At Journey Bank, we're committed to helping our kids score big in every aspect of life. Journey Bank, where dreams are nurtured and futures are built. Journey Bank, proud supporter of our local youth.
You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
A matchup of 2 of the winningest programs in Pennsylvania here at STA Stadium as Berwick takes on Williamsport. In their football history, Berwick has 840 total wins, placing them 3rd in the state, trailing only Mount Carmel and Easton. With 742 program wins, Williamsport is 7th. Millionaires bring a 4-3 record into tonight's game. They started the season with 4 straight wins, but have now lost their last 3. CJ, offensively, in their last game at unbeaten Shamokin, Williamsport used a lot of spread offense, 1 running back, 3 or 4 wide receivers operating out of the shotgun. Is that what you expect to see tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that they can be multiple if they want to be multiple, but we're prepared to see them in trips. We're prepared to see them in double slot. We're prepared to see them with 2 backs and with a slot to the right and a split end to the left. A lot of things that Dave's shown, and they've been pretty consistent in showing those things on film. But boy, do they have playmakers. And I know that we talked about it earlier a little bit, their offensive line and having all of those guys back, and a lot of them are still junior. You have 3 sophomores and 2 juniors on their offensive line. So with the year of experience, they're better. But you look at a guy like Kyreek Bradshaw, who led District 4 in catches last year, and you look at Jamel Bailey, who runs super hard, as well as Kyer Whaley, who had 500 rushing yards last year as a sophomore. They just have weapons all over the place. And so we know that these last couple weeks, we've been trying to be a run-first defense and stopping the run first. But, especially with being unsure of where we stand in the secondary right now and having guys back, we got to be able to stop the pass too, because they love the quick out, they love out and up, they love to make the big plays and give their guys a shot. And a lot of times these flankers and these wide receivers, they're able to make that play.
There's a bit of mystery surrounding their quarterback situation. A senior, Elijah Way, has been their starter and has put up some pretty good numbers. But head coach Mike Pearson gave me a 9th grader, Tevin Williams, as the starter. Now, he's played a lot at wide receiver, but limited at quarterback. Although he did play the 4th quarter against Shamokin. You got a chance to see him. What's he like?
Tevin has a chance to be the real deal. He really does. As a freshman, I think that he does some things very, very well that the other quarterbacks didn't give them. When Williams came in against Shamokin, he ran some zone read. He ran some option. He was able to get on the edge throwing the ball, and he throws a good ball. Now he was their deep threat receiver. He was the guy that they had as their X receiver on the solo by himself in their trips, and so they went to him a lot in one-on-one situations. So having him with the ball in his hands every single play, he has a threat here. He's a bigger threat to be just a game breaker for their offense, I believe. And especially, when you have guys like Bailey surrounding him, when you have guys like their wide receiver Zion Hughes and Kyreek Bradshaw on the edges able to make plays, I think with the ball in this kid's hands, they're able to do a little bit more with their offense. But, our guys have prepared all week to see all the quarterbacks. We've seen Hughes take snaps, we've seen Wade take snaps, we've seen Williams take snaps. And so, although that they have similar games, I think that our guys tonight are ready for whoever rolls out there.
Last season, Williamsport was pretty much a one-dimensional team. They could not run the football. In fact, they only had 31 yards against Berwick in that 21-7 loss for them. Not the case this year. You mentioned Kyer Whaley and Jamel Bailey. There's another youngster, Giovanni White. All their stats, rushing yards per attempt, are pretty good. So this team can run.
They certainly can run. We have to be prepared for that as well. And our goal is to only have them, with under 100 yards rushing. No doubt that's one of our team goals every single week. But, hoping to even have that be less. And our guys need to be physical. And that's the way that we've played all year. And we need to continue to do that. But our defensive line and our defensive ends know that, a lot of this game defensively, it starts with them. And that they still have to be dominant on the line of scrimmage. Our linebackers have to be much better than they've been in flowing and getting off blocks and filling gaps and being able to scrape over top and make plays. And we have to tackle these guys low. Bailey's 6 foot 225, and he runs downhill. He might not be the fastest, but if he gets out in the open field, it's tough catching both him, Whaley, and White. And so, with that kind of three-headed monster back there, along with their passing game, it's difficult for any team to stop. And so our guys have worked their tails off this week to try to recreate that performance that we had against Nanticoke, and they're also in the same mindset as well, that they have to keep stacking good days, and we just want to be playing our best ball at the end of October. Tonight's a huge checkpoint for us to do that.
Up next, CJ will evaluate Williamsport's defense. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show here on Pop Radio.
Be moved in a Mazda from WNL.
Jump in with the whole family for a night of memories in the third row Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, offering 1.9% financing for 72 months.
Or choose bold utility in the all-new CX-70. You will elevate your driving experience with a comfortable cabin and expansive cargo capacity. Right now, WNL Mazda is offering 2.9% for 72 months.
See us off Route 11 in Northumberland and online at WNLMazda.com.
Financing available to well-qualified applicants only. Offer cannot be combined with any other discounts or incentives other than loyalty or military offers. Offers end 10/31/24. See WNL Mazda for complete offer details.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, the roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding, specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas, now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
Planning your next big event? Weddings, concerts, church festivals, even construction sites. Preferred Portables has you covered. Preferred Portables offers a luxury restroom trailer that even has hot water. No power? No problem. They can provide a generator to keep the lights on. They even provide sanitary service to campgrounds, parks, parties, and have 24-hour emergency service. Contact Preferred Portables to learn about event and contractor pricing. Check out their website, preferredportables.com. We're number one when you have to go number two.
Stop. Don't make your next car payment. Instead, get a new vehicle at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. Because right now, we're offering a 120% of Kelley Blue Book trade value buyback bonus, up to $2,500. Just find the vehicle you want from our huge selection of new Buicks and GMCs and get 120% of KBB trade-in value for yours. It's the 120% of KBB buyback bonus event going on now at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. The lowest price guaranteed.
You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
The Bulldogs are about to take on the Millionaires of Williamsport tonight here at STA Stadium. It's Williamsport's first season as a member of the Heartland Conference. Millionaires come into tonight's game with a 4-3 record. CJ, defensively, what's Mike Pearson going to show us? You mentioned earlier, sounds like a lot of different defenses.
No doubt. We saw multiple fronts against Shamokin and against some other teams too. And at one point against Shamokin, they were in a 4-3, they were in a 5-2, they were in a 5-3, they were in a 6-2. So we have to be ready for all the different fronts that they're going to show us. I think that based on our film that they have of us and seeing kind of the team that we've been the past few weeks, I think we're going to see a little bit more of that 5- and 6-man front, with 3 backers or 2 backers, and they're just going to play man and load the box and dare us to throw the ball. So, our guys have been working all week on being able to pick up blitzes and pick up pressures and make sure that we have everybody accounted for on the line of scrimmage. But once again, it's going to be a war in those trenches for our guys for 4 quarters. And so, I think last week was the first time our defense has legitimately showed that they can play 4 quarters, full without making a ton of mistakes and with finishing the game with a shutout. So our offense has something to prove as well this week against a very good defense who's physical. They have some great players on that defense, and the way that they switch it up, we have to be ready to roll.
They have turned in some good performances. They shut out both Wyoming Valley West and Shikellamy. They held a pretty good Hazleton area team to just 6 points. What do you see as their strength?
Absolutely, and I think that they have 4 good backers who can really move. A lot of their guys on the defensive line also play offensive line, and so those kids are tough inside, but they take up blocks and they don't really get blown back, but they stand guys up, and that allows their linebackers to go make plays. I think that Jaden Ransom plays fast. I think that Jamel Bailey is awesome. I think that Anthony Manley, a sophomore, number 34, who we saw in film, he's a big kid. He's 245. He goes and he hits people, and when he blitzes, he goes. And so, along with those guys, their secondary is very athletic, and they don't get beat deep often. And so, when you're able to have those guys just matched up in man, it kind of gives your front seven a little bit more freedom to go get after it when you can trust your DBs behind you. And so I think that they've done a good job in dialing it up all year and forcing teams to try to throw the ball, and they're great athletes.
Their losses have been to 3 very good teams, but they have been vulnerable to the run in those games. In fact, 400 yards rushing for Shamokin last Friday. You think your team can exploit that?
And that's certainly our goal this week for sure. We've been able to see Selinsgrove in the second half with their Wildcat quarterback do similar things to what we want to do. And we saw Shamokin kind of beat them up on the same couple plays. And in the fourth quarter, they just got stronger. But that was the big thing with those teams that have won, is that in the second, third, and fourth quarters, their offense got stronger as they went. And they were able to just keep beating them down and keep being physical. And, at one point, they were able to just kind of break them and score some points and be able to rip those games off. And so that's the big thing for us, is to continue to stay physical, execute, no turnovers, and we can't get behind the chains on penalties, which has been our Achilles heel for most of the season. But with our week of preparation, I think that we're in a good spot. Now it's time to go out and execute.
Sounds like it's going to be a terrific night of football. Thanks for your time and good luck.
No doubt. Thank you very much, Jim.
Listen for another CJ Curry Show prior to next Friday's game at Seal.